Yes, friends. In this video, we have to discuss the group ungroup function with using of pivot table. We cannot use the group ungroup functions and all the functionality. So make sure that we have to use the group and ungroup functionality. With using of group and ungroup functionality of the pivot table, we want to use the different functionality. So make sure that all the functionality we will use that functionality. So we have to discuss with group functionality. With using of group and group functionality, we have to create a different pivot table, different pivot chart. So we have to clear about the pivot table and pivot chart. Now we have to clear idea about the pivot table, pivot chart. So we have a now the functionality, which one is very useful functionality in pivot table and pivot chart. So make sure that all the functionality we will use this functionality. On the basis of this functionality, we can do with other functionality also. So now we have to share my screen. With using of share my screen, I will do the particular functionality. uh, Here you can see here customer ID, duration, purchase, uh, representative and date of call. I think so. Whenever you are showing this data, at that time you know about that this data is I think so. Uh, you know about this data is representative, date of call, customer ID. This is all about the mobile phone data, mobile phone operator data. This is which about is you will use, how very about purchase about use, which representative is attend his call. So all this amount is you know about for something if you are having any telephone networks and you have to want work with this telephone network, then you have to do this functionality. This is customer ID, duration, particular customer, how many duration he is talking with the phone, then purchase amount, representative, date of call. How many purchase amount, the amount is purchased and representative is a call, which representative attend his call and date of call. So every customer ID is a different ID, and a representative you can see here 01, 02, 03, 04, 05 only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a 05. This is date of call. This is purchase amount, and different customer ID wise he will be getting the value of this particular customer. So make sure that this is a particular value, customer ID, durations, and this value you have to want this value. Now we have to find out four values: first, second, third, and fourth. First, we will find out top 10 customer record. Then, month wise customer record. Then, third, particular duration wise. Duration, it's mean that 0 to 35 duration wise. Duration wise record. And the last is customer ID, customer ID and purchase amount total. It's mean that customer ID wise purchase amount total. We have to find out this 10 values pivot table and 10 values pivot chart. Then how it will be used, this pivot table and pivot chart? First we want to create the pivot table, then after we want to create the pivot chart. So make sure that pivot table and pivot chart, you want to use this pivot table and pivot chart with using of this data. So top 10 customer record, month wise customer record, 0 to 35 wise duration, and customer ID wise purchase amount total. We want to this 4 result on the basis of pivot table. This is our query. Particularly, we want to solve this query on the basis of pivot table. Then we want to create a pivot chart. So make sure that first we want to create the pivot table, then we want to create the pivot chart, right? First is a data. Customer ID is a repeated times. Duration, it's customer ID and representative ID. Representative ID is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 only. And date of call, you can see here the date of call month is oddly October, November, December. No other calls value. So now we want to create this 4 pivot table. Then we want to create the pivot chart. Now, how it is create this pivot table and pivot chart? Then we want to use this functionality. First, we want to select the whole the table value, right? Then go for the insert tab. Insert tab, we have to pivot table. We want to create a pivot table. On the basis of pivot table, I will create this. Any of the chart you will be create, but yes, make sure that chart is a very suitable on this parameter. We will go for the pivot table. First is top 10 customer wise. This is customer ID, purchase amount, sum. We want to find out top 10. Now, this all are the question. Whenever coming to question in the Excel, at that time you have to first think about it. Which one formula, which one pivot table, which functionality is useful for us. We cannot say that top 10 customer is only find out with the pivot table. You can use the pivot table, you can use the sum if, you can use the count if, any of the formula you can use that, but result we want, because basically we want to the result only. Result oriented work, if it is done, then it will be work. Otherwise, else it will be not workable, right? Now, we want select this value. On the basis of this value, here is a equal to value filter, label filter. Label filter, we will not find out any of the filter, because equal to, not equal to, begin with, don't begin with, this is all a textual data. Because you can see here with a filter prefix is label. When the filter prefix is label, at that time it is a textual data. It is a not a numeric data. So whenever the working with the numeric data, at that time value filter is used. Whenever you are working with the textual data, at that time label filter is used. So whenever you use row label is a customer ID. Customer ID, it's not your label, right? Value filter, it means that we work with the value. So here is a not a top 10 record. Yes, A to Z you know about that. So ascending to descending, descending to ascending order. In a value filter, it will be not used. Label filter, it will be not used. Value filter, you can see here equal to, don't equal to, greater than, less than, between, not between, it's not used. But yes, we want top 10 customer wise record. So here is a top 10. Now you can see here we want to top 5 records. This is top 5. Now we want to see here value of the top 10 records. If I am using the bottom 5 records, sum of the sales of purchase. If here is a multiple value, here is a not a multiple value. I put out the multiple value, then after I will check that. Items percentage wise and sum wise, we have two items wise. So this is a bottom value, right? If I am adding the duration also here, now we want to top 10 record on the basis of duration also. Sum of the purchase amount, if you want to select the sum of the duration, then you will be add it and you will be work with this one. If I'm adding this value, we will have a clear filtering, and we want to use the value item filter top 10, And if I am selecting bottom 5 value on the basis of sum of duration, this is bottom 5 values. So top 5 value, bottom 5 value, top 10 record, this one is record. So now make sure that all this value on the basis of value filter, top 10, bottom wise not, top wise top 5 items. So top 5 item is 4, 5, 7, 12, 13. This is top 5 records. If you want to top 10 records, then you can work with the top 10 records also. If you work with the top 5 records, you have to work bottom wise, top wise. So you have to make sure that you want to use this record on the basis of the particular value. Now, second criteria. Month wise customer record, 0 to 5 duration wise, customer ID wise purchase record. So we want to find out first small things, customer ID wise purchase records. Here is our data. Go for the insert tab, pivot table, then customer ID. It will be purchase amount. So customer ID, this is customer ID, this is purchase amount. Then customer ID wise purchase amount total is here, right? Otherwise else you have to find out this value. Representative wise purchase amount total, you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Representative, how many purchase amount total on particular representative. So now you have to clear about this. This is a representative, this is a purchase amount, so total number of representative wise purchase amount total here. So you can work with the easily, particularly representative wise purchase amount total. So now you can change here, you can change this value whenever you are using this value. You can see here group selection, ungroup, slicer value, change the data source. This is whenever we are changing the data source, at that time we will use this option. This is change the data source. Refresh value, refresh all, and refresh value is here. So all the parameters enable, we can working with this all the parameter, right? If I am changing the data source, for example data source is table number 2, if I am changing this data source, particular this pivot table, then we want to change the pivot table data source, we want to change the pivot table values. So on the basis of this pivot table value and the basis of this pivot table data, we want to easily use this pivot table record. So make sure that you have to change your data source also, data source value also. So make sure that all the value is usable from your side. Whenever you are putting the data with the data source also, you have to put this value with using of data source. Now if you want to change the data source, you can change it. If you want to use the table, you have not changed the data source, because the table is automatically update. You know about this easily, because in the previous session we have to very deeply know about the what is a table, why we convert it to the table. So previous video, please check the previous video, why we all the data is converted to the table. So we have to clearly idea about this one. Now it is clear this. We want to go for this to month wise customer record and 0 to 35 wise customer record. First, if I am doing here month, right, then we want to find out the value of the text, find out this value, and m 4 times m. Now go for the insert tab, go for the pivot table and click OK button. Then here is the data is not coming month. Which one value you are selected at that time, this value data is not coming. We go for the insert next pivot table, table number 2, and OK. But this value is not coming. When we ever change the data source, and data source value is table number 2. If I'm converting this particular range on this value, this is a table number 2. When I'm changing here, data is not coming from this one. Now we want to refresh this value. At that time it will become. Why this possible? Because all the data stored into the cache, so directly it not stored in the pivot table. So whenever I will refresh the data, we will store that. Month wise purchase amount total. So here is September, October, November, December wise purchase amount total is here. Now this one is clear. From both the way, this is a first way. You want to create this way. Otherwise, the second way, this is very simplest way. Or if you use the pivot table, then you are definitely use the second way. You cannot use the first way because this value is every time if it is changeable, then it will be difficult. We will change this value. So make sure that we have to use this value on the basis of this parameter. If I'm using this one value, sheet number 7. Now go for this insert pivot table and OK. Now we want to the second one. We want to date of call. On the date of call purchase amount total. We now cannot find out the value of particular value. This one is your data value. Right click, group option. Group is what? Month wise or year wise? Yes, I want to month or year wise. Then OK. September, October, November, December. So month wise this is possible or year wise this is possible. If I am doing here group option, second, minutes, hour wise, day wise. If I am putting the month and day wise, this is month and day wise data. September month data, November month data, and December month data. For control Z, if I'm doing here group option and hours, minutes, seconds, quarters, if I'm doing the quarter wise, month and quarter wise, you can see here quarter number 3 is the September and quarter number 4 is October, November, December. You have to clear about this one. You have a particular 4 quarters. Every quarter is 3 months: January, February, March in a first quarter, April, May, June in a second quarter, July, August, September in a third quarter, July, August, September in a third quarter, in a fourth quarter, October, November, December. So now you have to check this value. Your value is check here the data, it will be converted to this one. Now you have to check about this one. This is a data. For example, we have a no any data. We want to use this data with the time also. If it is for example 11:20 a.m. some date and time format also. So now we have to select this value. On the basis of this one, we have to select the pivot table. This one is your pivot table. Date of call or purchase amount. Now, if I want to select this grouping option on month and hours wise, minutes wise, second wise, then you can see here this is month wise: September 12 a.m., October 12 a.m., November 12 a.m., December 12 a.m. So now you can see here your data, particular data, which one you are storing from this value. It will be value will be this one. This is all are the data from 11:20, 11:20. If any of the data is changeable, at that time it will be changed automatically. If I'm putting here 11:20, if I'm putting here 01, 01, p.m. Then now data and go for the refresh all. You can see now here 11 a.m., 1 p.m., 12 p.m., hours, minutes, second. It will be individual wise data is bifurcate. You can see here. Individual data wise it will be bifurcate here. All the data is individually bifurcate here. So now you have to clear idea about this one. You have an individual data wise clearing of this data. So make sure that all the data wise, hours wise, minutes wise, second wise, you have to clearing of this data. Now you have to clear about this one. Hours, minutes, second is also come. This is date of call and this is purchase amount. So if I'm putting of data on the basis of grouping option, hours, minutes, second wise, not, it's a day wise, then you can see this is day wise. If I'm putting here grouping option for not day wise, this is only for hours wise, only for month wise, but you have to given the starting date and the date also. Generally, we have to go for the month, year, and quarter wise. So we want to use this quarter wise and year wise. So we want to find out easily this value. So make sure that you have to clear idea about the grouping option. Yes, definitely you can use this text function also. But with using of text function, this is a very time consuming and using of text function. If we have to find out hours, minutes, second wise, otherwise, if you want to find out the value particular quarter wise, then date wise, then time wise, second wise, this is very difficult from your side. So make sure that all the functionality which one we will use in this functionality, it is very smallest functionality. So Excel have a lots of function, lots of functionality, but you have to first decide at the time of the query which one functionality so you we will use this. So we have to manage our time and we have to we have to saving to our time. So for example, I give some example. Typewriter is working with the Excel command is working with the Excel trainer is working with your Excel, all the corporate office working with the Excel, or the trainer working with the Excel. But yes, with using of Excel, we have must be saving to our time. That is main benefit in this Excel. So make sure that which one functionality is used, this functionality saving a not a lots of time, saving very small time. So we have to use this functionality. So we can use this functionality on the basis of this one value. So we can use this functionality. Okay, friends. Now, in the last parameter, we have to 30 to 40 and 40 to 50 parameters. So we have to find out this value. But first we will find out this value on the basis. We have to clear idea. 30 to 40 and 40 to 50, we have to find out in the aging report also. So we have to find out in this method, otherwise else another method is available. If another method is available, then we can use this method. Otherwise else first we will decide which one method we will use and which we will work this functionality best result. I think so second way in this particular grouping option, so it will be best result in a month wise. So make sure that you have to use this functionality, so it will be you have to give the best result from your side. So make sure that you have to do this functionality. So we can do this functionality September, October, November, December. So I can work this functionality and I can do this functionality. Now for the last one is which functionality? If I am using particular date wise, then which functionality is used? 30 to 50, 50 to 40. This is called as particular range wise of data. At which places you will be use your range? For example, I will do with a range in a mean median mode also. Whenever in the mathematical function we will use the mean median mode for also. You can do this functionality mean median mode, this functionality. You can work this functionality. So at that time you have to use the mean median mode functionality. You have to range this functionality. You can do this functionality. So you can use the aging report also on this functionality. We can do this 0 to 35 duration wise, 35 to next is 70 duration wise, 71 to and so on, 71 to 30 we have to 115 wise. So we have to give this duration, particular duration, so he will be find out the value. On the particular value we have to find out the particular range the data. So we have to find out this value. We can discuss in the next video.